what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, the latest physique update from Keone Pearson, I think was extremely impressive. So today he did a guest posing at the Iron World Open regional competition, showing off what I think looks to be some significant added size and fullness 5 months now post 212 Olympia. Now, I know that at the Olympia, he was significantly still under that 212 limit, so he has room to grow. And I think based on what we're seeing here, he has certainly done that. Now, Keone never ceases to amaze me. I'll say this honestly, I think Keone will be a future 212 Olympia winner. He will be a Mr. Olympia 212 champion if he continues to dial in his conditioning tighter and tighter. I think this year was a significant improvement for him. This was his first call out in 212, and he was 6th at the 212 Olympia, moving up from like 14th last year. He's getting bigger, he's getting better, he's dialing it in, he's figuring it out. And I've said this before, I think Keone has some of the best bodybuilding genetics of all time. It just so happens that he's a little bit shorter. He's got a little bit of a smaller frame. So right now we're seeing those genetics displayed in 212, but he's moved up from Classic Physique where he's put on a significant amount of size since he was competing in Classic. But I think when you see him open up and you see him do that front double bicep, then he does kind of a variation of that front double bicep. When you see him open up those lats from the front and hit that front double bicep pose, and you see that taper, the vacuum pose, the waist, then the size of the upper body, crazy biceps, great peaks, great fullness all throughout. The chest, the lats, everything. He's got a really impressive front double bicep pose. Right now, honestly, one of my favorites in the IFBB period. But keep in mind here, he is 17 weeks out. He does have to qualify for the Olympia this year. So this is not a pure off-season update, even though it's 5 months out of the Olympia and still 17 weeks out from competing. But like I said, I think you can see significant improvement here. Really, I'm seeing a lot of thickness in his back. His lats look thicker, bigger, denser to me. And that's where I'm really noticing the most improvement. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see Keone on the 212 Olympia stage again this year. Like I said, this past year in 2022, he moved up significantly in placings. I think he can do that again this year. I still think you could have made an argument for him placing higher last year. But honestly, I think we're looking at the future here. I know that Keone has said before he intends to go to Open, and look how good Derek Lunsford has done. Look how good Hadi Chupin has done, William Bonac. I think Keone can do the same. I think in the next few years, we could see Keone win the 212 Olympia, move to Open, and make a huge impact, and see him in the conversation in open bodybuilding as a top 10 Olympian. I don't think it's far-fetched. I think we could see it happen. But I think Keone is truly the real deal. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this guest posing from Keone. And what do you think about Keone's competitive future in 212 and eventually his plans to move into open bodybuilding? Good idea, bad idea, or is it a wash? Now, next up in the news, the latest physique update from Nick Walker. Now, honestly, even though Nick Walker didn't exceed his expectations at the Arnold Classic with his runner-up position, up until that point, he had really had a very linear progression in bodybuilding, improving from show to show, winning, placing higher at the Olympia, doing exactly what he says he's going to do. He knows what he's doing and he knows how to progress. He's proven that. In this update, he says, off-season update, 274 pounds this morning, growing and keeping things on the tighter side, which is what I want. I don't feel the need to blow up to 300 pounds, just pack on size. It's what's needed to make small progressions where it's needed. So he's exactly on point. He doesn't need to add very much, if any, size. I think obviously he needs to come in with his legs fuller and not as depleted as they were at the Arnold. But he's got to be very careful with his frame. When adding size, it can go wrong very, very quickly and throw off his balance, make him look blocky, etc. So it's a delicate game, but I think he's done a very good job so far. And like I said, up until this year's Arnold, he's done a very good job at linear progression, just constantly getting better. And I honestly think he's looking at that Arnold Classic footage. Him and his coach, they know what they did wrong, they know what they want to fix, and they know what they want to bring for the Olympia. And I still think even though he got beaten at the Arnold Classic by a guy that didn't beat him at the Olympia, i.e. Samson Dauda, I still think Nick Walker is going to be a major factor at the Olympia. And I don't think that he's out of the conversation for the top 3. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, next up in the news, another update from Hunter Labrada here at 15 and 17 weeks out, respectively, from the Tampa and Texas pros, both confirming that he is still doing both shows here. Now, Hunter really is a man on a mission here. He's really trying to make a statement in terms of improvement from last year because he slipped significantly with his Olympia placings, and he knows that. And I know that he's not just looking to re-qualify at these two shows this year. He's looking to show that he's improved. He's looking to make that statement. He's looking to interject his name back in that conversation as a top first call-out Olympian, like he was in 2021 where he was fourth. Now, I always enjoy reading the comments when it comes to Hunter Labrada because I feel like he's kind of an unnecessarily polarizing figure as a bodybuilder. There's a lot of people that really like him, and there's a lot of people that really dislike him just on the merit of him placing fourth at that 2021 Olympia and on the merit of him beating Nick Walker. Some people loved it, and some people hated it. A lot of Nick Walker fans in particular hated it. So the commentary on Hunter, especially in the comment sections, is always very interesting to me because leading up to 2021, I feel like a lot of the discussion was, wow, this guy's the future. He looks incredible. People were really cheering him on, but I feel like ever since that 2021 Olympia, the tide really turned against him to a lot of people saying favoritism. They didn't think he deserved to beat Nick Walker. They didn't think he deserved to be top four. I've even talked to people, including other pros, that think he only placed fourth because his dad is Lee Labrada and because of Labrada Nutrition sponsoring the Olympia. I don't personally buy into that theory, by the way, but I've heard that theory. So my question to you guys is, while we watch Hunter Labrada fight for redemption and try to not only re-qualify for the Olympia 2023, but to win these two shows, do you think there's still a chance for him to be in that conversation as a top 3 Olympian like we were talking about in 2021, or are those days already past for Hunter? Has it moved that quickly and shifted in another direction where we're talking about Hadi Choopan and Derek Lunsford, now Samson Dowda entering the conversation, Nick Walker, Andrew Jack? Are these guys now permanently going to be placing ahead of Hunter Labrada, and will he kind of perennially be now out of that conversation and closer to the outside looking into the top 10? Or do you think there's a chance he can fight his way back into that conversation? That's going to be the conversation as we watch him over the next year or so. Are we going to be talking about Hunter Labrada with Andrew Jack, with Samson Dowda, with Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker? Or will it be another third call-out conversation in 2023? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, next up in the news, as we come to a close for day one of the finals of the 2023 World's Strongest Man, the leaderboard is up now at the end of day one with Mitchell Hooper in the lead with 25 points and Oleksiy Novikov just narrowly behind him with 24.5 in second place. In third place, you've got Tom Stoltman with 24 points. Fourth place, Trey Mitchell, 22.5. Evan Singleton with 15.5 points in fifth place. And Brian Shaw still trailing right now in sixth place with 14.5 points. A lot of people rooting for Brian after that leg injury. A lot of people hoping that with his retirement show, there was still a chance that he could win a fifth title and go out on a high note with a swan song. But that's starting to look a little less and less likely, and it's starting to look more like your Arnold Classic champion, Mitchell Hooper, has the potential to win this thing. Now, tomorrow is going to be the finals where the winner is actually decided, and tomorrow you've still got the max dumbbell, the vehicle pull, and the Atlas stones for events 4, 5, and 6 to decide the real winner of the finals, the overall World's Strongest Man. But right now, this is your updated finals day one leaderboard. Let me know in the comments below, who is your prediction to win the 2023 World's Strongest Man based on what you're seeing here? Is Mitchell Hooper going to have a hell of a year and win both the Arnold and the World's Strongest Man back-to-back? Let me know in the comments below your pick to win the 2023 World's Strongest Man. Now, next up in the news, in classic physique news, you did have the Charlotte Pro Cup today, an Olympia qualifier. We had quite the battle for the classic physique Olympia qualification for 2023. The winner of that show ended up being Daniil Famponte, a.k.a. the Black Rambo on Instagram, with Justin Baterina taking second, Damian Patrick taking third. In fourth place, you had Thomas Adame, and in fifth place, you had Kevin Ogbabor. But congratulations to Daniil Famponte on the victory in Olympia qualification in what was a highly competitive classic physique competition this weekend at the Charlotte Pro. Now, the final story that I have for you guys today, 2 new classic physique updates from Larry Wheels. Now, this was interesting to me because it was a post and delete. These are no longer up on Larry's Instagram, but I guess I screenshotted them before he took them down. Actually, I thought he looked pretty good here. I think he looks leaner and more trim than I've ever seen him look, which I think is what he needs to do for classic physique, because he's got to make weight. So he's hitting kind of a classic pose in the first shot, and then he's hitting a twisted front double bicep in the second shot, which I actually think is a really good shot for him. It's interesting because he tore that bicep, and I actually think it makes that bicep look even cooler than it did prior. The peak looks better, but that's not really going to work to his advantage in the actual competition because it does throw off his symmetry. But I actually think that peak looks taller and a little bit more separated ever since it was repaired. But look, I've seen a lot of people kind of hating on Larry Wheels and throwing shade on this classic physique attempt. But honestly, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to do well here. He did okay in bodybuilding. I mean, he qualified for nationals. I think the lower body clearly is going to be a problem. But I think overall, I think he's going to look pretty good at whatever classic physique show he shows up at. He's got to do a national qualifier first. He's not just going to show up to nationals right away. We're talking about an amateur show for a guy that's been juicing and one of the strongest powerlifters of all time for the past 10 years. And despite all that, in this crazy amount of muscle that he's built, he's still been able to maintain a really small waist, and he can still hit a vacuum pose. I think overall that's going to translate pretty well to the amateur classic physique stage. Now, he hasn't really said how far he wants to push this classic physique thing. He just wants to start pursuing it. But again, I don't think we're having a conversation right now about Larry Wheels being Mr. Olympia in classic physique. I don't think we're talking about Larry Wheels even as earning a pro card right now. I think the question right now is, will he do well at an amateur show? Can he win? I think yes. And that, to me, is a successful transition from powerlifting, strongman, arm wrestling, bodybuilding to classic physique. To be able to do that and win a show is success. Will he probably go on to try to do a national show? I would bet yes if he qualifies, which I do think he can qualify for a national show. But when we're talking about winning a national show, we're going to be talking about winning a pro card, and I think that's a different conversation. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. I do think the legs need to come up for him to win a pro card in classic physique, but it could happen. And right now, to be fair, we are seeing this kind of transition for Larry where he's skinnier, he's depleted, he's sucked down, because he's got to make that weight cap. So I would like to see how he looks when he's a little bit more filled out in the lower body and a little bit carved up. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Larry Wheels and classic physique, good idea, bad idea, or again, just a wash. So that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.